Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another smartphone office video. You can only rely on looks for so long. You have to develop some game. Yeah. And first of all, you're probably saying, "Why Rom doing an office video?" I got a lot going on. You know what? I know everybody love car run, but I got stuff going on. Sometimes I just gotta give y'all what I can give you. Cause if I don't give you anything, then everybody's like, "Hey, what's going on with Ron?" Hey, nothing happening. Just I got a life outside of all this. I put it like that. So I gotta give y'all what I can when I can. And today I wanted to talk about just the whole thing with looks. And you got a lot of people, you got some people even talking about looks maxing. And I'm going to tell you what, it's not a bad thing because usually, let's be real, when people talking about looks and everything, talking about their face and everything, that's cool when you in your late teens and maybe early 20s. Because you ain't expected to have that much. And let's be real, women checking out everything. Shoot, you need looks, body game, dressing nice, all that, physical appearance and everything. But as you get older, you got to have some game, and that's really just being able to talk to the ladies and have some other stuff going on in your life. Now, if you like late teens, early 20s and stuff, and you sitting around fixing up your looks and appearance and all that, that's cool. That's cool. That's expected. You need to. But then as you start getting older, the game don't stop. Like every now and then I'll get some detractor or something say, why you talking about this? Man, dude, as an older man, your dick still works. Your dick still works. You still getting play. Shoot, if you really getting out here, shoot, even on the Gift That Keep On Giving, the balloon pop show, they be having some older people on there. There's one brother, he be doing his balloon pop show with some old heads, some old people. The game don't stop. And I've said that in videos before. It don't stop. Shoot, I know some men in their 70s still getting theirs. Men in their 70s. Think about it. I want y'all to think about that. The game don't stop, but see, it kind of changed. Because when you young, you can just go by what you look like physically. You can get by on it. Even body game, you can just get back on. You can get by on it. But as you get older as a man, you're expected to have more. Like a woman, she can be 30, 40, 50. She still look good. She still gonna get some play. But you're not a woman. As a man, you expected to get some stuff going. You can't be living in your mama's basement as a 50-year-old man. You might can get away with it as a teenager or as in your young 20s. But if you 50 and still doing it or still living with somebody, they gonna look at you funny. Or if you don't have that vehicle or, you don't have something going, it ain't too many women gonna look at you like the same way. Because understand something with men. Men are expected to develop something as they get older. Now, you still want to keep your physical appearance up. You can still be that silver fox, but think about the term silver fox. They got some grays in their head. And in fact, a lot of women like that, but those silver foxes, they can look good, got that gray beard, everything like that. But they still expected to have something else going on for them in their lives. They still expected to have a career, still expected to have some type of home, whether they renting it or buying it or whatever, has some stuff going on, And let's be real. Even though I'm big on saying you don't need money to get a woman, you still expected to have some money, and that's not even necessarily to get the woman, but it's necessary to have the lifestyle that you want. Because when you at that age, then the woman, she's shooting. As they getting older, they thinking more about lifestyle anyway. It ain't about gifts. And so they don't want to be dealing. Ain't no women want to be dealing with some 40 or 50-year-old man that they have to take care of. Well, most of them don't. There's some that will. There's some that will. But shoot, usually women like that, they'll get a young boy. Like I said, if you just going on just your physical appearance, all that, that's important. But then you need to be on that grown man shit as you get older. Very, 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 very important. I can't emphasize that enough. And you get a lot of guys talking about, like the looks maxing and all that. Yeah, that's good when you're young. But look, like, I'll never forget, I had some people try to come after me, right? This dude and 3 women tried to come after me when I first started. They were like, oh yeah, he's fit, he look good, but he don't look like he had money. And, I can understand that because of where they thought my age was and where they were. I can understand that. They didn't know. I had to check them on that, but they didn't know. And see, that's the thing you got to think about. You see, because as you get older as a man, you expected to be doing some stuff. You expected to have something going on. You expected to have a plan. Like when you in your late teens, early 20s, yeah, you can get away with just looking good. Because the women just want to have fun then. But see, they get more serious as they get older. Even if they ain't trying to have kids, they getting more serious. They want that man on some serious stuff. He need to have, and his game ain't just him talking to a woman. What's he doing for his life? What kind of career he got going? What kind of business he got going? What's his plan? Like a man need to have a plan by the time he hit 30. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. He need to have some type of plan. And I've said this publicly. If a man ain't really getting the women in his 30s, you hate to say he might as well give up, but he got a lot to work on. I hate to say that. I hate to be the one to tell you that. But shoot, he need to have something else. It was like, the woman looking at you, you might be 40 or something. The woman looking at you like, okay, he handsome, he whatever. But then she gonna want to know, okay, did I get over there? Okay, what else you doing? What else you about? Because they don't want some bum at that age. You gotta have something, and this don't mean you have to necessarily be a millionaire or something. But if you up there talking about, well, I don't got anything going on or something, ain't too many women gonna mess with you. Notice I said too many women. There's always a woman who's like gonna be on some whatever. And I've met a few of them, but usually, I'm gonna tell you what, I met one woman, and she was dealing with a guy who, even though he was older, still living with his mama and everything. But then she was on some little childish shit herself. So, but if you're talking about the average woman out there, they want to know. And it ain't about you spending money on them. It's about you being a grown-ass man. A grown-ass man. You got to have, you got to be in a place of sovereignty. You got to have some power or something. That's when, and when I'm talking about game, I don't mean you up there spending some hot, some hot magic or something in their head, something like that. I'm just talking about the game of life. When you getting older and stuff. Because it don't stop. The women don't stop. Shoot, the women do not stop. The men don't stop. Anybody who think it do, they haven't reached that age yet. There ain't no age limit to it. You're a straight up Bama if you think that's the case. Like I said, shoot, I've had some consultations where, hey, guys, I need to be calling them uncle. They hit me up. Talking about Uncle Rom, I'm like, hold up, you older than me. I need to be calling you uncle. And everything, they asking me questions. Shoot, they traveling and everything like that. They in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Shoot, I've met some dudes in their 70s popping out some babies, fathering children and whatnot. It don't stop, but they always have something going on outside of their physical appearance. Because, see, one thing, too, about physical appearance, yeah, it's not going to be the same as you get older. You look at, like, I use a great example, like those Hollywood actors and stuff. They don't look the same as they did when they young. They do not look the same. Their bodies ain't, they might put on a little bit of weight, get some gray hairs, get some wrinkles, something. They ain't going to look the same. See, the thing with looks fades. You can't be using that. Now I know some people will say, "Well, I'll just get a whatchamacallit, plastic surgery, or put this stuff in my head and all that." But here's something with that too. If you are, once you get past the age of 30, and especially 40s or 50s, and you still trying to live off your looks, a lot of women, they'll say, well, he look good, but they ain't going to take you seriously. Because they looking, see, a man is supposed to develop his mind. He's supposed to develop what he got going on otherwise. And as women get older, that's what they looking at. That's why sometimes you will see some younger women, they'll get with that older guy, but that older guy got a lot going on. Understand what I'm saying. Understand what I'm talking about. The game don't, it don't stop. What else you got going on? What have you developed? What have you done in your life? What have you done in your life? What have you accomplished and stuff? What type of knowledge you got? Let me shout out Cousin Tito. He talked about masculine mastery. What kind of master? Are you a master of anything? That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because, yeah, looks are good, and all that looks max and all that stuff. That's good when you're young. And I advise any young guys, if you late teens, early 20s, yeah, you want to fix up as much as possible. Even body game. There's only so far you can go with body game when you get older. There's only so far. You ain't going to be no fitness model or something. You just need to be in the best shape that you can be. But you can't live off of that. You cannot live off of that. If I meet somebody, I'm a 60-year-old man, I have no problem saying it. If I meet somebody, I got to be able to say, well, hold up, I got these books, I'm doing this stuff online, living in this big house or something like that. I just can't go by, oh, yeah, well, the woman just like how I look. Because even if, now I don't care what the age is, they're going to be like, okay, what else you got? If I'm dealing with some young women, they want direction. Some older women, they gonna be like, okay, what you doing? And like I said, they ain't necessarily looking for money from me, And that's with any age. That's as you get older, they looking at what can you do? What can you talk about? What have you done? That's the important thing. That's the important thing. All right? So you got to have something to talk about. Like, you can get away with just your physical appearance as really late teens, early 20s, really just late teens. You might get one of those like cougars or MILFs or something. Like you got some of these older women going for these teenage guys, and it's just a physical thing. Because these young guys don't have anything else. But you get older, you got to have something else. You gotta have something else. You gotta have some basics or something. And that's the important thing to remember, because it just develops as you get older. Every single man, I don't give a shit what you look like. I don't give a shit like how you build or even how tall you are. You gotta have some other shit going as you get past the age of 30. Cause see, remember, a woman, she looking for a man's mind at a certain point. She looking for what he talking about. They want that guy that they can listen to. Understand that, all right? So anyway, I don't have much, when I'm not driving and stuff. I don't keep it that long. And I don't know tomorrow. Tomorrow it could be an office video, or tomorrow it could be driving. I don't know. Like I said, I got a lot going on outside of this during this week. So got to kind of change some things up. All right. So anyway, That's all I have for today. That's all I have for today. All right. So I get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.